I didn't know the streets. I didn't know where anything was. So when you move somewhere new, for me at least, it was kind of scary to go out and drive places because I don't know where I am.
Whereas with social media, it becomes so valuable to add that level of connection.
They have incredible cocktails. The sushi is amazing. I love the sushi because I'm very into raw fish and they have incredible quality. Welcome to episode 1 of Tanya in Sarasota. I'm so excited to be here today because I have a very special guest. This is my guinea pig of a guest because I thought, you know what? I want to perfect this whole thing. And who better to be helping me test out episode 1 than my husband, Michael Tutcher. Welcome, Michael, to my show.
I'm excited. I've been wanting you to do this for a while. Obviously, you speak very well, and people like seeing you on the news and social media and stuff. So I think this is going to be really good for you.
This was actually Michael's idea after I did a episode here at Sunbiz Studios, which, by the way, if you're looking to record a podcast, this is such an incredible spot in Sarasota. I was invited here and did one a podcast episode, and I loved the studio so much. I went home and I told Michael, I was like, that was so much fun. I feel called to do something of my own. They actually even invited me back, and they were like, yeah, come back, do one of your own. And Michael was like, yeah, you need to do it. And you know what? You believed in me so much. That was probably what convinced me to do it because you were like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And
I believe in you.
I didn't know what to do. And actually, you gave me the idea. So tell the people what you told me I should do.
Just because, you develop these relationships with the businesses that you work with and you have such a passion for it that I think it'd be a great opportunity to share your story, your journey, but also, having guests who are these business owners and being able to share their story as well. I think that'd be really cool.
And business owners already tell me their story. And, I think just getting them here and putting it online so other people can hear it will make people want to go to their businesses and check it out. So I think your idea was incredible. Such a good idea.
Well, it's, everybody likes to patronize businesses when they feel like they know the person, when there's that extra level of a connection. It's like, I want to go support them. Mm-hmm. And it really enhances the experience and obviously brings value to those business owners.
Agreed. So what I want to do first is I want to go into how I moved to Sarasota, which means we have to talk about how we met because I moved to Sarasota for you, technically.
Yeah.
Or else I'd still be in Southern California right now.
You would be, for sure.
Sure.
I don't know why God made all this happen, but he sure did, and it's working out well.
Yes. So people say, how did you move to Sarasota? And I always say, well, I moved here for my husband.
You're welcome. And now you're Tanya in Sarasota.
And now I'm Tanya in Sarasota. And, I think the story of how we met is so funny. When I tell people, they're like, no way, you would have met your husband on Instagram.
Yeah. And it wasn't planned. It didn't start off, sliding in the DMs, trying to be all flirty and whatnot.
Well, you did slide in the DMs.
Yeah, but, it wasn't intentional to be like that. It just worked out really well.
So why don't you tell the story about how we met?
Yeah, because you haven't told the story on, the news and all that.
There's a deeper story behind it. I say the surface level appropriate story.
Oh, so we're going to get into the truth of the matter.
I think there's some stuff I have not shared.
Well, I shared a little bit more in depth on a recent podcast that you haven't heard yet, but that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So where do we go? We start with 75 Hard?
75 Hard.
All right. So we were both doing 75 Hard beginning of 2020, right?
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with it, it's a mental toughness program. And it's kind of one of those where it doesn't make sense unless you do it. So you have to be a special kind of screwed up to actually see it through and finish it. And I had already completed the program a couple times. You know, it was a new year. I was starting off doing it, and I was following the hashtag 75hard just as someone who was supporting other people, watching other journeys. And I came across this girl that was doing it, and, you know, she was cute. And so I thought, you know, maybe I'd give her a follow. And you posted a story or something, you know, like a lot of people do with 75 Hard, just sort of bitching and complaining about how difficult it is.
Like, this is so hard. I'm a single mom of 2.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's more or
doing
less
it. I'm
what you
doing
said.
75 hard, but I'm exhausted.
And I felt like you probably, just like I would have if I posted that, were looking for someone to be like, hey, Tanya, you're doing so good. Give yourself credit. Keep going. And like put their arm around you and support. And I did not come with that energy at all.
So then next what happened, I posted a story and I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm a single mom. 75 hard is so hard to complete.
It's not for me. Yeah.
I don't know if I said it's not for me, but it was something like that. And then you responded to my story and slid into my DMs and said what?
Yeah, our first time ever communicating. I said, there's plenty of people out there that have it harder than you, who have figured out a way to do it. Stop being a little bitch and figure it out. And that was it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how he...
That is how you close the deal, all right? So that probably wasn't what you wanted to hear. But coming from a place of support, genuine support, wanting to see you succeed and finish the program, I think you knew that's what you needed to hear. And yeah, it kind of started from that and being supportive. And then, you know, we had both been used to doing networking and whatnot. So we scheduled a Zoom, and then I got a chance to see this beautiful face. With zero effort put in, by the way.
I showed up he was like, hey, you know, you want to meet on Zoom? And I was like, sure. And I showed up on a Zoom video with wet hair.
Yeah.
Out of the shower. I think I was like, took a shower.
About me and trying to present herself for me, but that's okay. It worked out.
Yeah.
And we had a connection. And then once we kind of had that extra
Well, let's talk
level.
about the connection. What sold me on you was that you had the Power List book by Andy Frisella.
Yep.
And when I saw that you had that, I was like, okay, this is what kind of person I am attracted to, because I like people who are go-getters and do hard things to better themselves. And I think that's when it all started.
Yeah.
You said you saw a twinkle in my eye.
I did. I remember we were talking and trying to figure out how to come up with different processes to be successful at the 75 Hard program. And we talked about other things that, you know, Andy references, like the Power List. And I literally like just turned around and showed you a picture of it. And then like there was a switch that flipped. And I get it, because when you are somebody who is a high achiever, or you're wired to be a doer, you're attracted to people who are like that, whether that's in business, your friendships that you maintain and hold on to, or your romantic relationship. It's attractive to be around that energy. It's a much more confident energy that no matter what happens, you're going to see it through. That when tough stuff comes up, when hard shit happens, like you find a way. And so that's attractive.
And that worked out for us because you were in Florida and I was in California, and we created our relationship in a long distance
during
format.
COVID.
During COVID, we met. Our first Zoom call was in January of 2020. COVID happened in March. Yeah. And we, you know, would spend hours talking on the phone, and then COVID happened, and then our relationship still succeeded even though the world shut down, which is crazy to think about looking back.
It was nuts. And I think that's a testament to kind of how we prepared. Like, we didn't know we were going to be in this crazy long distance relationship, but we were focused on improving ourselves and becoming mentally tough. And I don't think we would have been able to succeed if we didn't have that preparation. Because obviously, like, we went through a lot, going from a long distance relationship, going so long not meeting, and then eventually
because
meeting.
we met January of 2020 and we did not meet in person until July of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's
because the whole world was freaking shut down. Like, what are we supposed to do? So we did the best we could with, video chat, and made it work. And then going through the adversity of flying back and forth across the country during COVID, which for me actually was great because there was nobody in the freaking airport. We didn't have to wait in lines. I remember being on an Alaskan flight with like 8 people on it. And I was like, I'm just going to lay down and take this whole row.
And the flights were so cheap. I think I got a flight once from California to Florida to California, round trip, for like $75.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So we did that whole thing for a while. Went to Utah for a little trip where I proposed.
Yes.
And then what was it, like a month and a half later, I was like, you want to just get married? Like, let's skip the whole lead up to it and just do it. And that's what we did. And then it came the decision to, all right, figure out the living arrangements. Where are we going to live? Do we want to stay in Southern California, which is, where you lived is fantastic. Huntington Beach. It's like Sarasota in a lot of ways, but such a different culture. And I got to admit that I went into it not thinking I was going to like it. Some preconceived notions.
He's like, oh my gosh, am I really going to California?
Yeah, I'm a Florida boy through and through. So thinking about, if I was going to have a conversation with God and be like, you need to find me a girl, someone that I can be with for the long haul, someone I can eventually marry and have a child with. If he told me, okay, but you got to go to California to find her, I'd be like, I don't know about that, bro. I think I'm good here. But that's where he took me. That's where I went. And look at us now.
Look at us now. Now I'm Tanya in Sarasota.
Yeah. So we decided that Florida was the place for, a variety of reasons.
Such a great place for the kids.
Yes.
I am so happy with the boys' school and just how they've made friends and all of that.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
it was a good choice.
Very family or more family focused, and the school system's pretty good for the most part, and just safe. I think we made the right decision. Obviously,
I think about the things I did when I was 16.
Yeah, well,
I went.
Not everybody's you.
I used to drive to Hollywood, and my parents didn't know, and and I'm just happy my kids can't do that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot more difficult. We don't have to worry about them running to Miami. That's 3 hours away. Like, come on. But yeah, so we made the move here, or you did rather, after probably about a year and a half of back and forth being married.
Yes.
And then you got here and you didn't know anything.
No, I didn't know the streets. I didn't know about hurricanes when I moved here.
Oh, you learned about that real quick.
Wasn't it Ian when I moved here?
I don't know.
I think it was like I moved here.
There's so many of them. When you're from Florida, unless it's bad, they all kind of just blur together.
Yeah, I could see that. And I didn't know
that
about
was
anything.
bad.
That was bad.
And I told you not to worry about it, and I was like, no, they always say this.
I was like,
it was bad.
I was like, people in Florida deal with hurricanes? What the heck is this? I had no idea what I was getting into, but it's better I didn't, because maybe I wouldn't have moved.
Right. Yeah. If I had warned you about that, I don't think you would have committed to it.
But
it's
it worked
like a
out.
couple
I
days
love
a
it
year.
here
It's not
now.
a big deal.
Yeah, I love it here now, and I'm glad I'm here. And it's really been an incredible journey the last 3 years being here, being married to you.
Oh yeah, it's
raising
been a journey,
kids
right?
here, and I am so happy that I started my Tanya and Sarasota Instagram page, because that is what helped me really get out there into the community and meet people. And I'm just so happy, because I remember when I moved here and I went on Instagram to start looking. I remember the first thing was coffee shops, because I work remote and I wanted a good coffee shop to go to work on my laptop. And I was like, I just want to see what there is around here. And I noticed there was no like foodies or influencers that would go to local places and try stuff out. And it kind of gave me the idea where I was like, you know what? I'm going to document my journey. A girl that just moved here, that is going to eat at different places, going to experience different things. I'm just going to make videos about it. And a little background about me: I have been in social media marketing for 10 years. I've done it for a career for 10 years. And I was like, I already know how to make reels. That's what I do every day. So I'm just going to do it for myself. And I can't believe how much it's taken off.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's insane.
It just started off as like a little hobby project, you know.
I was doing it actually really to just make myself get out there. And like, I didn't know the streets. I didn't know where anything was. So when you move somewhere new, for me at least, it was kind of scary to go out and drive places, because I don't know where I am the whole time.
Thank God for Waze and Google, right?
So I mean, I am so thankful. Now it's like I go places and people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I follow you on Instagram." And you know how happy that makes me.
I'm aware. I've been there when you want to call them fans or followers. They're like, "Oh my God, I follow you." And I know it means the world to you.
It means so much to me. I feel emotional right now.
Well, but it happens so often. Like, I can be walking somewhere or at work, going to a business, and somebody will say, "Hey, does your wife," and I already know what they're going to say. And I go, "Uh-huh. She has the page with the," "Yep." "Oh my God, I follow her." And I was like, of course I tell them, thank you and everything. But like, I think that's so cool that there's so many people that like take your journey and consider where you've been, because obviously they think, for some reason, they think you know what you're talking about. But no.
No, it's not. I never act like I know what I'm talking about. I really just share what I love.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, at least they can get an insight to what the experience is like and what you ordered.
And that's what I was looking for when I moved here. I was like, I don't know what these places look like. I don't know what kind. And some of them, they don't have an active Instagram, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely a big problem, because it used to be when you wanted to look into a restaurant or where you were going to go, you just kind of Googled it. And that doesn't really show a lot. Mm-hmm. You go to the Google reviews or Yelp, and you typically get the 5-star or the 1-star reviews. It's the people who are raving about something, or the people that are like ultra pissed off, and that's it. You get no middle. So you don't really have an accurate way to gauge people or gauge places. It's just the extremes. So to have a good social media presence and being consistent on, your vibes, if you will, in the restaurant, your dishes, maybe having something that's about the owners to have a connection. Without that, you're just kind of guessing on if a place is going to be something that you would enjoy going to. Whereas with social media, it becomes so valuable to add that level of connection. And I think you do a great job of showing your experience. And then also, like, if there's opportunities, be able to highlight the owners and tell a little bit about them. So that's been pretty cool to watch on my side. And I'm sure, the people who follow you feel the same way.
Yeah. And I love shouting out the owners, because I come from a small business family. Mm-hmm. You know, my parents always had their own business, and I was that little girl who grew up going to work with my parents. And, you know, I would do little things like Windex, you know, the counter for money and stuff like that with my parents. And so I know how valuable it is to small business owners. You know, when you put your heart and your soul into taking the risk and opening your own business, which I've seen my parents do, and then someone comes into your business and experiences it, and then they shoot a video about it. They talk about how much they loved it, what they loved, and then they post it online, and then they tag you. That means the world to the business owners. It helps bring new eyes to them. I don't think people realize what a long way that goes. And I mean, I would encourage everyone, if you go somewhere and you love it, post it on your story and tag the business, give them a shout out, or like go on their Yelp and leave a review. Or, I mean, more so though, do it on social media, because then you're giving them free content. And
Yeah, and it's stuff that they can save and reference and reuse. Whereas, you know, a Google review or a Yelp review, yeah, it's nice to be able to give the feedback, but it's so impersonal. Whereas when you do a story or take the time to do a reel or a post, it's able to share so much more depth and context. You know, you were there celebrating a anniversary or a birthday or whatever it may be. That kind of shows you chose this place of all places to go have that memory. Like there's some gravity and weight to that. So when other people see it, they're like, is this a date night spot? Is this a family spot? Is this a place where I can go celebrate my birthday? Like, it gives a little bit more context than just a plain vanilla Google review.
Agreed. So piggybacking off of that, one thing I want to do on Tanya and Sarasota is I want to always ask any guest that I have
I'm
on
a
the
guest.
show.
I forgot that.
Co-host, guest. I always want to ask, what are some restaurants you've been to that you've loved around here?
I mean, that we've been to?
So let's talk about that. What are some restaurants we've been to that we've loved?
Well, we definitely love. Well, okay, I'm not going to speak for you. I'll speak for me. That'd be out of line. I really like Tsunami for our sushi nights.
I love Jeff.
Yes, Jeff
He's
is
the
fantastic.
best.
He's
Shout
amazing.
out to Jeff. We love him.
He treats the kids amazing. It's a great experience. Overdoes it, if I may be so honest.
In what way?
Just over delivers in the customer service. Everybody's so nice. You know, I think we were there for a birthday or anniversary or something. And he brought out like an extra dish or a dessert. I don't remember, but it
was something that was lighting up, wasn't it?
So it was the whole experience and going above and beyond to make our evening that much more special.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's seen and
lychee
recognized.
lychee martini at Tsunami is next level incredible. If you are into that kind of thing, and if you get the lychee martini, make sure you eat the lychee. It's so good.
It didn't look edible, but apparently it was. So yeah, Tsunami's a big one. Let's see, what else? I like going to Bourbon and Bones.
We haven't been there in so long.
Yeah, I think the last time we went there was like
Father's Day.
I had to go and get that brunch and the mimosas.
Bottomless mimosas. You were like,
I was trying to find the bottom. Had to keep going.
I don't know. You're 6'5", you're a big guy. There's no bottom to bottomless mimosas for you.
You gotta try. But yeah, so those two really stick out. And then another one that we've been to a few times. I like over in Waterside Place, the Agave Bandito.
I love Agave Bandito.
That's been a good time. You know, you get the great food, but also the great drinks. And there's a couple other Mexican spots that have really good food, but it's that ambiance, the vibe, and then the drinks. Next level. I mean,
okay, when you're talking about the drinks, are you talking about the drinks at Agave Bandito, or are you talking about the Maya Speak Tiki?
I am actually talking about Agave Bandito.
Oh,
because it's
okay.
the margaritas and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my jam.
That spot is solid. And if you go, I believe they're open Wednesday. I want to say Wednesday. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they're open
Select evenings.
days during the week. I think from like 4 to, on some days they're open, I think even to 1 a.m. on the weekends. But anyways, getting off topic. If you go in Agave Bandito, if you walk in and you go all the way to the back of the restaurant, there is a secret door on the left.
Which I'm sure everybody knows by now because they all follow you and have seen
My
your
videos
video.
go viral whenever I post
Yeah, because
about
it's pretty
that.
crazy.
So you open that door, you go up the stairs, and upstairs is a speakeasy. It's called Maya Speak Tiki, and they have the most amazing drinks.
Very good.
That's why I was like, are you talking about Agave Bandito?
No, both, obviously. That is a whole experience in and of itself. But for restaurants, I was trying to stick to.
Yes.
The drinks at Agave Bandito are fantastic to go with the incredible food.
Yes. Those are some good spots. Good job.
Yeah, so that's what I got for you.
I like that. I like that. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere I've been to recently that like really I blew my mind and I want to shout out. You know, I did go to Japan with
Which that's
my
always
friend Anna.
old reliable. Like, we used to live so close to there.
That is where we used to go before I
Yes.
moved here.
So that was a great spot because it's like 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, whatever it was. And so it's, you want to get sushi? That was always the move. And you know, the owners there are incredible.
Let's talk about Japan Bar.
That's an experience in itself.
We love going there.
You know, going there and getting the whiskey tastings from the bar manager back there, who's incredible.
I think that might be because you're special. Isn't his name Max?
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
I think that's because
I always
you're
have a brain
special.
fart with his name, but we look very similar because we're giant white guys with beards who like whiskey, and he just knows off of the first order. He kind of takes a look over. He's like, "Oh, I know that guy," and then then we hit it off all over again.
Their cocktails
I
are
go there on a
amazing.
date with you. I end up on a date with him. It's
Yes,
crazy. Yeah.
which I'm fine with because I'm just enjoying my sushi and drinking my cocktail.
yeah, it's a good time. I think, but a lot of people don't even know it's back there.
Okay, so I do want to tell people about
It's
it.
not as crazy as Maya Speak Tiki, where you got to open up a separate door.
Yes.
But yeah, if you don't go to the back, you don't know it's there.
So Japan at UTC has an area called Japan Bar. And so there's the restaurant area and there's the bar. I don't know if it's always open because one time we went and it wasn't open. So go at night. And I always tell people go on the weekend because that's when it's kind of busier and like the bartenders are there. And if you go to the Japan Bar, we love actually sitting at the bar, but they also have tables and booths back there. And their cocktails are amazing. And it's just such a cool vibe back there in the Japan Bar area. And it's just like, it's dim. They have incredible cocktails. The sushi is amazing. I love the sushi because I'm very into raw fish and they have incredible quality fish.
Very high quality.
It's like real sushi.
Yeah. We got to make it to the tuna cutting that they do with those big events.
I know.
Oh, need
They
to find a
bring in
babysitter
this
for that one.
giant tuna and then they put it down and then all these people go to Japan and then they do, they cut the tuna and serve it.
Fresh off the
We
fish.
were supposed to go that one time and we had to cancel last minute, which I was so bummed out about.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go to that for years. So whenever we canceled, I kind of cried on the inside. Yeah. What else you want to cover?
So that's
I'm the guinea
it.
pig episode.
That's it. I just wanted to do this episode with you because like we talked about, eventually I want to invite business owners that can tell their story and I can ask them questions about themselves and learn about, where they're from and what inspired them to open a restaurant and things like that. I just didn't want to do it until I had this down. So that's why. And you know what? I think we should do these episodes sometimes. This is so fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's having the conversations that we have at home and talking about different things. Maybe some of them are appropriate to have on camera. I don't know. But,
Yeah, some stuff. Remember, you're like, I'm going to say this. I was like, don't say that, please.
so you don't want me to be myself.
If
I
you know
understand.
my husband, if you're his friend or you send him DMs or whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
I
Just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I think this is going to be a cool layout. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining me today and helping
Thank
me
you for
test
having
this
me.
out.
I'm excited to see how it launches and the trajectory of it. You know, I'm sure it'll be similar to your journey with Tanya in Sarasota, where you catch a few eyes and you gain some momentum, and then before you know it, it's pretty major.
Yeah, I started off my Instagram page where I had like 50 followers and I just posted and I don't think anyone watched my content. And then
I
eventually it
did.
grew.
No, it's not that nobody watched. It was just me.
But now that's what it's going to be like
Yeah.
today. We're
Yeah,
a couple
maybe nobody
people.
watches this, but that's okay.
If you made it all the way to the end, I just want to say thank you for
Thank you.
supporting me and being here and listening to my journey and how I got here and how I became Tanya in Sarasota. What better way to kick that off than to bring my husband and talk about how I got here is because of him, essentially. No, it's because this is where I was meant to end up. I have all the belief in the world that I was supposed to move here to Florida and I was supposed to start the Tanya and Sarasota page because so many of you come up to me and say, "Oh my God, I love your page. And I went to this restaurant because of you. And I went here because of you. And like, oh my gosh, I watched your daughter grow up. I've been following you since you were pregnant." And you know, this is such a cool way for me to really connect with all of you guys in a long form way. So that way you can kind of get to know me and our local business owners. So thank you for being here. Stay tuned for episode 2, Tanya and Sarasota. Until then, see you later.